Hello everyone, this is Sydney, and I'm coming to you with Cruelest of Hearts on Eyeless Jack X Reader by Vivian R. Vergoo. We're going to be starting off with Chapter 18, The Art of Coexisting. Today's song for this chapter is Hollywood Undead Lump Your Head. Push yourself a bit more, Wyan. No, I can't, EJ, it's too painful. How do you know if you don't give it a try? Well, how do you know to begin with? You mutter angrily. No, don't do that. No, fuck, EJ. See, it's not that bad now, is it? It's as bad as the first time we tried it. It pains me like hell. Would you prefer it if your leg's a trophy and I have to cut them off? Try to walk on them so the circulation starts again. He breathed out, his patience starting to waver faintly. It had been around 3 days that you had finally woken up only to be surprised by the deal that none other than your abductor and torturer, EJ, suggested. A certain deal that you weren't so fond of, but by thinking it through, it was the best you could ever achieve with the masked killer. And let's be honest here, you were completely convinced that he would have chopped off your legs and probably kept you alive so that he could kill you when he had the chance to really see life abandoning your body. Yet when you found yourself in his room, carefully tucked inside the blankets and with both your legs attached to you, even if they were severely frostbitten, you were both surprised and angry. Surprised because not even in a million years would you have guessed that he would offer you such a deal and in such a calm manner. Exactly as if you were talking about the weather and you were both good buddies, rather than a killer and his potential victim. But you were also angry. Angry because no matter how much you had begged him to kill you, he didn't do it. Prolonging your torture even more. Why? Why couldn't a killer do the only thing that he was designed to do and end your suffering? Why was he unable to do it? The only thing that you wanted right now was to be released to heaven where you would meet again with your father and, most importantly, Jack. Still, the answer was given to you by the killer himself. I refuse to kill you so that you can keep me some company. He was lonely. The killer was lonely. Had the gods been playing a trick on you? Was that nothing more than a misunderstanding, something that your brain was unable to process? These thoughts were the very first ones to pass from your mind when you heard his words, but even if you couldn't see his eyes, his whole posture betrayed nothing that would prove him otherwise. And then it dawned on you. He was actually lonely. Whether this was sad or something to laugh about, you knew not, but in the realization, something changed inside your mind. Suddenly, he wasn't the ruthless killer that had completely abandoned his emotions, no. He was actually pretty capable of feeling one of the most dreadful illnesses that exist upon this miserable world. The illness of being deprived by someone's company. No one, absolutely no one was safe from this demon, and the very proof for that was lying under you. After your sudden attack and realized that maybe it wasn't a clever thing to reveal his actual thoughts to you. But instead of mocking him in any way, you finally agreed to his deal. I mean, you knew all too well what being lonely was, and if he was willing to kill you after the said month, then why not keep him some company? Still, that did not mean in the slightest way that you had the trust in him. Even after 3 days that he allowed you to do nothing but more than eat and sleep all day long, helping you replenish your strength and provide you with both food and medicine, you still eyed him suspiciously every time he turned his back to you, in case he was lying, was ready to snap your neck at any given moment, because he was still perfectly capable to do that, and you were no fool to begin with. To your utter surprise, though your fears never bloomed, he didn't even do as much as raise his voice to you. No, there were many times that the both of you allowed the deafening silence to fall between you, but nothing hostile towards anyone took place. He was even helping you restore your legs back to their original state. And that was exactly what he was trying to do right now. Unlocking the chain around your wrist, he passed his inhumanely sturdy arm under you to own and picked you up with no struggle from his part at all. And just as if you were a true feather, he grabbed you steadily and raised you on your own 2 feet with exceptional care, trying to help you avoid stepping on them too much, but enough in order to attempt taking a few steps. He didn't mess with you too much, usually allowing you to be in peace and only bringing you food and water, yet he was only adamant in helping you regain your ability to walk, since even after so many days your feet were still tightly bandaged and completely unable to walk. I don't get why bothering in the first place. Isn't the frostbite going to retreat eventually? You muttered, completely annoyed, flinching a little bit as you stepped on your right leg. Yes, but keeping them idle will enable the formation of blood clots, and if the said blood clots reach your heart, there is nothing I can do to keep you alive. You will die instantly. He informed you patiently and helped you take another step. I guess your need for some company wins over your need to kill me, right? You eyed him out of the corner of your eye, yet his emotionless mask remained unchanged, just like his tone when he eventually spoke after a small pause. I do not see the reason why you are thinking the deal over. I will give you what you want in exchange for what I want. In his words, a devious smile crept its ways on your lip. And I will say it again, who would have thought that killers have a soft spot for loneliness as well? Aren't you unable to feel anything? No, he said. Just because I am a killer, that does not in any way mean that I am unable to feel or experience things just like your own kind does. It is in a way strange for humans, such as yourself, to always completely dehumanize killers and mass murderers. You believe they do not feel, they do not think, they are just killing machines that act on impulse, just like any primitive organism does that has no intelligence. But this is utterly wrong, Wyan, and in a way insulting. We do feel, we monsters not only feel, but sometimes experience certain emotions on a greater scale than you. Some can experience love, we do experience companionship and the feeling of happiness, yet, even if we do, it is in a different way than the one you do. I can only explain your need to dehumanize us and an inner need to separate yourselves from us, but in the end, we're all the same. All monsters are human in one way or another. So you can't find companionship even among your own kind, you mutter, feeling strangely ashamed for your previous words. You could have sworn that at that point you heard him chuckle a bit under his mask, yet the sound was so low that your mind decided to dispose of it as a mere piece of your imagination. I did not, but I thought I was at least content. I did not feel a companionship, yet I wasn't content in the way I was. Does this not apply to you as well? You begged me to kill you because you were lonely. At this point, he completely stopped with trying to make you walk and turned towards you, with his navy blue mask leaning down to gaze upon your petite form, with his black eye sockets burying themselves on you as they studied your face. From this close proximity, his height was looming threateningly above you, and his sturdy chest was only inches away, with a faint aroma of pepper and blood reaching your nose, accompanied by something else that you couldn't wrap your finger around just yet. Still, the proximity and difference between you made you feel so uncomfortable that your brain was completely unable to think calmly and analyze all the info that he was given, making it impossible for you to study his slight reactions. In his words, though, you felt your face fall and you frowned the very same moment that you exhaled. Yes, that's true, actually. Your eyes meet with anything else but him. After Jack disappeared, nothing was the same, and I can't say that anyone but him gave it to him for me since my father died. After his disappearance, I'm always alone, he shrugged. I guess we're the same when it comes to that. Didn't your human relatives attend to you at all? Humans may be completely vulnerable, but they do protect their young. His tone was so puzzled that you almost laughed. Not in my family. My mother had a serious alcohol problem. My stepdad only worsened that. They never really cared. And your friend? He was really curious for a killer. He was my only hope until he went missing. We used to do everything together, and being around him was what kept me sane through all those years of abuse. Now, since you were involved with him, even if you knew it or not, I know that he's long ago dead, you sigh. My poor Jack. You remained silent for a while, allowing your thoughts to travel back to the happy times when Jack was with you and everything seemed to have a meaning for existing. Yet when EJ spoke again, what he said almost gave you a heart attack. From what I can understand, the two of you were romantically involved, weren't you? Without any doubt, this was one of those moments that the brain itself simply denies processing and understanding the messages that he offered. On the contrary, your breath hitched inside your chest and your eyes popped open with surprise, with your damaged heart starting running a marathon. Her beats rising up to pound loudly in your ears, giving you the feeling that you were having an aneurysm. A bright red color spread all over your face and your mouth fell open angrily, ready to respond to the killer's simple observation and accuse him for false conclusions. Of course we weren't. I mean, how dare you say that? You spat angrily, your burning eyes falling on him with nothing but pure spite. Jack was my only friend and I loved him for that. His mask covered his expression, so if your words gave him any reaction, you will never know. The only thing that you were sure about, though, was the fact that he remained silent for a little while, looking at you through his mask. Very well, then. He finally spoke up. On other matters, I have prepared a few tests to run in order to analyze the condition of your heart completely. I believe our attempts to make you walk are over for now. Let's proceed with the test. Should I lay your insistence on your murderous nature? Because you just can't get over the fact that you don't know about my heart, and that drives you even crazier. You smile slyly to him. With a swift move, the male bends down and passing his hand on the back of your knees, he picks you up bridal style in just a mere fraction of a second and makes his way towards his lab, kicking the door open. If it was 3 days ago, you'd have protested and argued with him, but since he did that every single day, now you felt less surprised by it, yet in no way comfortable by being carried around. Not that your weight seemed to affect him in any way, but as he explained to you himself, carrying you around was easier than making you walk, since you had the extreme velocity of a snail, and despite his calm nature, waiting for you was like waiting for death. You had rolled your eyes mockingly when he said that particular part, but instead of suffering under his judicial stare while trying to move around, you chose to just play along with it. And exactly like the other days, he opened the lights of the lab before walking over to the medical bed and placing you on it with exceptional care, proceeding with gathering all the stuff that he was going to need, like a stethoscope, various needles, and many other stuff that you failed to label. And for a few moments, you allowed your gaze to follow the man, swinging your feet playfully back and forth as they hovered the ground, before grabbing the edges of your blouse and pulling it off completely, freeing your boiling skin to come in touch with the cold air. A shiver shot down your spine, but you ignored it mindlessly, wanting the whole examinations to hurry up already and suppressing your urge to cover your bra with your hands. There was no way for him to examine you with your clothes on, and despite his reassurances that his interest was only on a medical level, your mind kept screaming that he was a man nonetheless, and a deranged one as well. But if you had to choose between willingly taking the blouse off and him freeing you from it with sheer force, the answer was all too clear inside your mind. You sighed and focused on his form once again. Can I ask you a question? You suddenly break the silence first. If it is a stupid one, please spare me the torture of hearing it, he answered while filling a syringe with a clear liquid. You seem to have a lot of those. Screw you. Is that eagerness I hear? His voice was again calm as he walked over to you, grabbing the stethoscope and throwing his hoodie back. His auburn locks protruding to every possible direction in a messy way as he placed the earpiece on his ears and the chest piece above your heart. You ignored his comment. What is your story? What do you mean? Comes his muffled voice from behind the mask. Rolling your eyes, you repeat yourself clearly this time. What led you to become a killer? How did you finally snap? The silence that fell among you was a deafening one, where you watched him carefully, knowing that he was probably drowning inside his own thoughts, debating whether to tell you or not, and if yes, what part should he leave out of the story. Being around people that never held back with their words, you always knew when someone was struggling to express them, and to be honest, to see a killer struggling with them was rather peculiar than normal. You knew that he had probably slaughtered hundreds of people, but would the detail frighten you that much? Still, when he finally sighed, you knew that precious parts of information were coming your way. All I know is that I was wandering around in the forest before the master of this house found me. I kind of was already insane, he confessed, moving on with his examinations. And he took you in here? In this question he nodded. How can a house full of killers exist and not be found by the police? I'm sure not all of them were as thorough as you when it comes to chasing people around. It is due to the master's powers. He is able to conceal the presence of the house, so you need someone from the inside to lead you to it, and in the extremely rare case that you find your way here uninvited, the aura around the house will kill you instantly, he confessed. And the others, are they like you? You mumble. Some of them, yes. Some of them, no. There are various kinds of monsters around here, Ryan, but never fail to believe that currently I am the only one that will not kill you on the spot. His mask turned to gaze at your face, studying your reactions. Your face betrayed no emotion. Oh, I know that very well, as I am not stupid enough to realize that you were telling me all this because you will kill me in the end. In the case that I escaped with all this info, I would be a serious threat to all of you. I remind you that you tried that, and it only left you with severe injuries and frostbitten. If I hadn't found you, you would have died inside the forest, never even coming close on escaping with the information. He admitted, and you could hear the smirk that must be plastered on his lips under the mask. I observed that you were not that naive after all. Giving him a bitter smirk, you were seriously tempted to kick him where the sun doesn't shine, a spot that was within your kicking range. Your surprise insults me, but I will let it slide for once, you comment deviously. All in all, though, what are you exactly? This time his chuckle was clearly audible as he grabbed another syringe and gently injected you with it. I will allow you to take a wild guess. Thinking about it for a second, your mouth falls open, but your thoughts are too wild to enable any sound to come out. You got neither a clear picture of him just yet nor a theory from his tone. You knew it all too well. To be completely honest with you, you were carefully weighing your every word. Your coal black skin, accompanied by your extreme strength and durability, as well as your shark-like teeth, doesn't really make you fall into the human category, you shrugged. Yet I have failed to pinpoint what you are. Let me enlighten you, then, he said, and leaned closer towards you in such a way that your face was inches away from his royal blue mask, which tilted to the side before he continued talking. I am a monster, a beast that preys on your own kind and will stop at nothing to hunt them down, even in broad daylight. A fair proof for that is that I do not have eyes, yet I can still see even better than you. Now, you mustn't have heard him correctly. Excuse me, what? You breathe out, blinking your confusion away. What did you not understand? He patiently continues. The part where you have no eyes. Instead of giving you an answer, he raised his left index finger, making sure that you were watching his every single move. It wasn't that hard for you to focus on him, since his comment had thrown you completely off balance, and right now you could think nothing more than the fact that he must be messing with you, trying to get a freaked out response from your side. But the moment you see a sharp move of his hand, your eyes follow the move, only to see his finger getting stuck inside his eye socket, as far as the finger could get. Your reaction is immediate. Your hands fly to cover your mouth the very same moment that a piercing scream filled with terror leaves your lips, and your back leans as far back as it can get, trying to move you away from the monstrous man that is now chuckling under his mask. Clearly amused by your reaction and pulling his finger from the eye socket, your expectations to see a long line of blood connecting the finger with the eye were high, but also disappointed when nothing happened. He didn't even flinch in pain. He just continued laughing. Holy shit, you scream. If I knew it would frighten you that much, I would have done that earlier, he admitted, more to himself than to you. That was freaky as hell, EJ. You really have no eyes? You exclaimed, stupefied. Freaking out yet? Well, a little bit, to be honest, but I don't think all the info has been processed yet. How the hell can you see? It's impossible. That is a question I cannot answer myself. I just can. He shrugged indifferently. Like you were talking about the weather, grabbing a nearby syringe filled with black liquid. What is that, more freaky stuff? You eye it suspiciously. I ran some tests on your blood, and turns out we have the same blood type, so this right here, he raised the syringe so that you could see it more clearly, is part of my blood. And before you freak out entirely, I would like to inform you that my nature allows me to heal faster than the humankind. So I was curious to see if it will have any effect on you as well. I have tested it with your blood and completely absorbed it, so there's no fear of you dying or anything. It would take one day to spread around and give any effects, though, so I will be studying you closely, he said, taking your hand in his with exceptional gentleness before piercing you with the needle. Not that you really had a chance in stopping him in the first place. So, more freaky stuff indeed, you sighed, watching the coal black liquid disappear inside your hand. How are you sure that it won't turn me to someone like your kind? It's nearly impossible to come like me, so you don't have anything to worry about at all. How do you know? Because we are not in a movie regarding vampires or other supernatural creatures. You read too many stories, YN. He helped you up. How about walking back to the room? How about no? You throw him an angry look. I am glad we agree, he comments, moving forward and making you take a step to reach him. He may be a calm one, but when he downright ignored you, it was always infuriating. Thus, there was nothing you could do about try walking along with him. Every time you stepped on your frostbitten legs, it was as if EJ had made you walk on a field of protruding nails that were being stuck on your flesh mercilessly. But there was no blood to accompany them, and your own 2 feet felt like they were made of jelly. Easy to be pierced and very hard to walk on. Tightening your jaw with sheer might, you focus all your attention away from the pain, trying to move around without allowing the piercing scream to emerge from your lungs or giving in to the need of slapping EJ across the face for making you endure all this. Try focusing on other stuff, Ryan. It will help you cope with it. So you don't remember anything from your past, right, EJ? No, I don't remember anything at all. Then, right as you almost reached the threshold of the lab, a hard knock was heard coming from the bedroom door. Both of you froze in your tracks, and your gaze is immediately fixed on the door, and you could clearly hear your heart stopping inside your chest, something that you were sure EJ heard as well. Mentally, you prayed for the door to remain shut. EJ, we need you downstairs ASAP. Come on, dude. A voice came from the other side, and for a moment you thought it belonged to a teenage boy. You swallowed hard. I'm coming, Ben. EJ's voice was hiding a bit of panic inside as well as he turned towards you. Stay here and don't make a sound, he ordered, letting go of you and storming out of the lab, closing and locking the door behind him. You watched him disappear and heard the lock turning, and for a single moment your heart stood still completely, thankful that whoever it was outside of the room did not open the door. It was out of pure luck that he didn't, but once this moment passed, you remembered something else as well. For the past 3 days that you had woken up, you were completely unable to stand up on your own. The result? You failed to take in when your knees gave out under you, and before you knew it, you were already crashing hard on the cold white floor, your butt coming hard in contact with it, only to be followed by your head soon afterwards, producing a loud cracking sound that earned it a penetrating pain scream as you rolled on your side, clutching your pained body hard. A few tears of pain rolled down your cheeks, and a rich variety of swear words left your lips. In his hurry, EJ had left you alone, forgetting that you were unable to stand, so now you were hurt and trapped because of him. Damn you, EJ, you bit out. Damn you, eyeless idiot, you'll pay for this. That is the end of that chapter. The chapter after that one is chapter 19. What am I to you? Let me know how you guys feel about that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until next time. Bye-bye.